I guess we can talk briefly about this Crawford versus Madrimov fight. That's a pretty surprising fight, in my opinion. He's far more versatile than guys that Crawford's been fighting recently. He also has IQ. He has punch selection. He has timing. My only thing is the flashy stuff. I never get drawn into that type of stuff. Sometimes you can be like Tony Hawk Pro Skater and be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But with the opposition that he's fought, it's worked. He can hit you with different angles, set you up top to go down low, things like that, go down low to set you up top. So he's definitely a dangerous opponent. Plus, he's like 27, 28, so he's a young guy still. Crawford is 36, so age is obviously going to play a factor into that. Again, I can't remember what fight I was talking about, maybe Tszyu or somebody else. I see Crawford using more of his high guard at the higher weights. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily due to his legs, although he has slowed down a little bit as far as his mobility and things like that. It's just the reality. It sucks when you see one of your favorite fighters start to get older. I'm not saying that age is really a factor, but I do see Crawford sticking more towards the high guard. He needs to not get fooled by those type of attacks. When a dude's going to sidestep him and do all that trickster type stuff, you know, he's going to have to make sure that he's fronting him the whole time. He's also going to need to watch out for the hooks. Like I said, this guy can vary by going down low and up top. This is the type of fighter that Crawford hasn't fought in a while. You know, this is a guy, again, has ring IQ, punch selection, timing. He just has a more full array of things. Plus, he's a young kid who likes to try out new things. You know what I'm saying? Young kid that probably still doesn't understand what it's like to really lose and things such as that. That kind of is the advantage of youth when it comes to experience. I can't hate on this fight. I think it's good. Even, you know, he's got the WBA super and everything like that as well. Saudi Arabia is trying to get involved. But again, this could just be rumor right now. So I don't know how real or if this stuff is truly going down. But when you start seeing oddball names being called out, again, that one British boxer who's kind of a showboat and trickster as well. I forgot his name. I know he's been losing a couple of his fights in his life. But when you see Crawford, oh, he's going to fight this guy, that guy. Something must be cooking in the background. So Crawford's one of those guys. Again, he is a polarizing figure. You know, a bunch of people dedicate their channel to hating on him and everything else, and that typically is the brunt of their channel. I think it's a good fight. I think it's dangerous. Crawford can't take a guy like this lightly. This guy, to me, definitely is more dangerous than anything BBC can put out there against him. That even includes Duran in his boots. I'm sorry, guys. You're Duran. It looks cool what he does and everything, but you know, there's not much to his attack and his array as people think. And I would love to do film studies on that if they ever want to get that fight going. I think Crawford definitely knocks out Duran in his boots. But this guy, again, he's kind of an oddball. You know, Eastern European, but has a mix. Well, let me just say this. Just like Crawford as well, he has a mixed martial arts background. He knows judo and things like that, too. So Crawford, again, you're the old dog in this, so, you know, sometimes the old dog don't need to learn new tricks. I think Crawford just needs to keep it simple, you know, let his experience and everything come to fruition, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to force things. But Crawford, he's a master tactician and everything like that, so I'm not too worried about this fight. We're also going to see how he deals, although this guy I think is about the same height as Terrence Crawford. He might have bigger builds, such as a bigger neck and things like that, bigger waist or something. But they are the same height, and I'm pretty sure Crawford has a longer reach than him too. Crawford has a freakishly long reach for someone his size, you know what I'm saying? He's just one of those fighters. That's always a sign of a gifted fighter when they have extremely long reaches, you know, than people around their weight classes and stuff. So again, I think it's a good fight. Plus he secures a belt, but again, you got PBC, you got all this stuff, you got all these things that are gonna play a factor. Are they gonna try to do shady things in the background? You know, are they gonna try to pay the WBA off to, I don't know, Again, when you're going up against a certain faction, you got to understand you're typically not just going up against, in my opinion, humans. You're going up against principalities that are attached to those humans as well. And I think this is why PBC is the way they are and why they like to stay so tightly knit amongst themselves. It's no secret that we see what happens when an outsider manages to infiltrate their camp, and typically it ends up with their fighters getting beat. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they can only handle guys on opportunistic matchmaking when they do venture outside of their own cinematic universe. You know, I'm sorry to get spiritual and all that stuff here, but it is the truth. Again, we'll see what type of nonsense the PBC plans on doing to continue to try to stipend Terrence Crawford's career, because I'm pretty sure if this is the truth and this will come to fruition, we'll just see what type of opposition gets prompted with this type of move. But again, it's not like Crawford hasn't been here before when he's tried to conquer, you know, like the welterweight division, for example. You know, he should be used to opposition at this point and stumbling blocks and everything else that these people try to put in front of him. This is a very pretty good fight, though. It's going to be underrated. People are going to say that this guy's a bum. He's basically like a Lomachenko, GGG type figure. These guys that had extensive long periods in the amateurs, and then they're being fast-tracked somehow. Crawford's other advantage in this fight is going to be his maturity. When you're dealing with a younger fighter, again, they like to do cool new things. You know what I'm saying? They like to do things that are very unconventional. And we see that to be the case with this match, whatever his name is. But regardless, that will play into Crawford's hands as well. You don't need to get too crazy in this fight. You don't need to try to out Tony Hawk a young, enthusiastic guy, again, who hasn't truly learned how to lose yet. You know, still feels like, you know, he has the world to conquer within his grasp. You know how you are when you're a young man. Crawford, he's already been there, done that, though. Again, this is just the old dog dealing with a guy who, again, is probably more, has a lot more tools than a lot of guys that he's fought in his past few fights. And again, we saw this in the Mean Machine fight, who was able to set up Crawford down low to land up top, vice versa. This guy definitely brings those same type of challenges. I did just recently come out with the Avanesian highlight video that I did a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's funny, but when you guys watch that fight, you'll see that Avanesian, although he had a very chaotic, unconventional style, you know, he could still land for wherever his hands are placed. He was landing some shots on Crawford. So again, but again, I know that Crawford, he's going to resort to his high guard. It's just a move that guys like him and a Floyd Mayweather, they resort to. Of course, Floyd Mayweather's high guard was way more refined and things like that, but at the same token, Crawford's high guard is still highly more offensive and more damaging. Plus, he's willing to take more risks and things like that. Floyd, again, it was perfect, his high guard, the way he was able to employ it, land from point A to point B, things like that. Crawford, we see that he can kind of do that similarly, minus the defensiveness of Floyd's high guard. But again, even with his short shots, he's still able to hurt, damage guys, and time them kind of unconventionally as well when you guys do watch that David Avanesian fight. So, again, I think it's a good matchup. It's a good power move, especially if he can secure a belt. But again, I'm expecting the same clowns that, you know, the opposition that are in the shadows to continue to try to do what they've been doing, however many years they've been at it, doing it, you know. Some people, they just need to learn that you can't win. It eventually gets to the point where it's off-putting to everybody, even people that are your fans or whatever else, or who were for you. So I hope this does go to fruition and we get to see a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I don't have to pay like $80 for it. You know, we'll talk about that type of stuff later. Bye.